Hello everyone, my name is Sabrina and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to learn how to make this beautiful blanket. This tutorial will be a two-part tutorial. The first one being today will be purely on how to do this stitch here. As you can see, it is completely 3D. It is so nice, very squishy, very easy to make, and it grows really quickly. And it is completely reversible. Here is the second size. As you can see, it is reversible. So one side here, and then if we flip it over, you see it's still the same. It is so lovely to make. And there will be a second part. I'm not too sure when yet, but I would like to think of a border to make for this particular blanket, and once I've figured out how to make a border, I will make a separate tutorial for this. So I will pause now, and when I come back I will talk about materials, pattern notes, and so on and so forth. For this particular blanket I have used just some regular DK, but of course it is up to you which weight you want to use. You could use DK, which is a light sport weight in the US, or if you want to use an Aran weight yarn, which would be a medium number 4 in the US of A. It is all up to you. With my DK, I have used a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. There we are, 4.5. And if you use a number 4 weight yarn in USA, I would suggest that perhaps instead of a 5.5 millimeter hook, that you would go up a little bit bigger and use a 6 millimeter. But ultimately it is all up to you. I find that a little bit bigger size would create a little bit more of a puff shell. For those who are still relatively new to crochet, when it comes to doing a chain, a starting chain, and working into that starting chain, I would highly recommend using a stitch marker just whilst you are working in the starting chain, and I will explain why as we go along. For those who know exactly how to work the starting chain, I wouldn't worry too much about stitch markers. This is just purely optional. So for today's video, I'm going to use two different color DK. You could use just the one, or you could use as many colors as you want. I have made before many blankets with this stitch with multicolored rows. Every couple of rows I would change color. So I will use two colors, and my first color will be white. There we are, white DK. And my second color is also DK, and it is that peach color, which is really nice. I intend to make this blanket for another little neonatal care bed, so I will not need that much yarn. As this is for a neonatal bed blanket, it is a bit of a special size. It measures 11 inches across, and the length of it is 29 inches. So it is 11 inches across, but 29 inches long. But of course, you will want to make a different size blanket, and that's fine. So I will explain to you the multiple of stitches and how to make your blanket bigger and longer or shorter. As I just mentioned, this blanket in particular is 11 inches wide, but without the border it is about 9.5 inches. And the way that I've worked my starting chain is by doing and I will show you now in detail. So the multiple of stitches is a 6. Multiple of 6 stitches plus 4. And what I've done is 6 times 8 equals 48 plus 4, 52. So I did a chain of 52, and that is enough to do 9.5 inch wide blanket. But if you want to do your blanket a lot larger than this, all you have to do is a multiple number of stitches of 6. So you do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Is it wide enough? Then you stop here. If it's not wide enough, you add 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 until it is wide enough for your blanket. And then you add a 4. So I did a chain of 52. And for this particular tutorial, I will be making the same size blanket, as it will be another blanket for the hospital. So I will pause now and we will begin our chain. We are now ready to do our starting chain. So remember, this is a multiple number of 6 stitches plus 4. I am going to do another neonatal baby blanket. So the width of it will be 9.5 inches. And I will be chaining a number of 52. But it all depends how little or how wide you want to make yours. Just make sure that your chain is a multiple number of 6 chains plus 4. So if you want to do a blanket, you will do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 until you get the number of chains required. When you've done that, you will add another 4 chains. So the way I do my chain is you have to start with a slip knot. And the way I do my slip knot is I wrap the yarn around my finger just like so. Put my hook through this yarn, and then I grab the yarn that's right behind it and pull it through. Now you will let go of all the yarn and tighten this yarn around the hook, and that makes the slip knot. But don't make it too tight because you want it to go around the hook nice and comfortable. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start doing our chain. So we're going to do our chain now. We're going to start, and remember that this little loop on the hook does not count as a chain. Now to do a chain, we're simply going to yarn over the hook just like so and pull through. We've just done our first chain. Yarn over the hook and pull through. This is our second chain. Yarn over the hook and pull through. And you're going to do that until you have the number of chains required. We are now ready to start on our foundation row. But before we begin, I would like you to, if you're going to use a stitch marker, what you have to do now is go into the 7th chain from the hook and insert your stitch marker right now. It will make a lot of sense as we go along. So remember to never count this hook. It is not a chain or a stitch or anything. So you want to go into this one to count. So here's the first, second, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in this seventh chain, insert your stitch marker right now. It'll make a lot of sense as we go along, I promise. So now that we've done that, we are ready to begin. In the fourth chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3 and 4. In this chain, we're going to do 2 double crochet. The 1, 2, 3, 4. In this chain here, you're going to do 2 double crochet. To do double crochet, you're going to yarn over the hook, insert your crochet into the chain, only go through the 1 loop, just 1 loop. Again, it will make sense as we go along. You yarn over the hook and pull through. You now have 3 loops on the hook. And you're going to yarn over the hook and pull through 2. And again, yarn over the hook and pull through 2. You now have made a first double crochet. You're going to do another one into the same chain. We now have made 2 double crochet, and the chain here, the starting chain, counts as a stitch. So in total we have 3 double crochet into that chain. And now, as we're going to work some shells into some chains like so. The more stitches you have, the more tight it gets, especially for the next stitch. You might not be able to see that, which is why I recommend it for you to use a stitch marker. Because sometimes when there are too many stitches here, the next chain is all bunched up and you don't see it and you might miss it. So you're going to slip. Is it miss or slip? No. You're going to completely avoid 2 chains. Leave these 2 chains unworked, and in the next chain where the stitch marker is, and here you're going to insert a single crochet. So you're going to insert your hook in that chain, and again through just a 1 loop, and you're going to do your single crochet. Yarn over the hook, pull through. You've got 2 loops on the hook, and yarn over the hook and just pull through both loops. You now have made your single crochet. You're now ready to take off your stitch marker, and I think I'm a little bit too close. What you're going to do now is you're going to count. You're going to skip 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next one you're going to put your stitch marker. But you do not have to do that. It just would make your life a little bit easier whilst you're working on your setup row. So now you've done that, you're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and in the next chain here you're going to work 5 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think this blanket is traveling along. Okay, now here's the yarn. So now that we've done that, I need to stay focused and stay in one place for you guys. Now that we've done that, as you can see, as we skip the next 2 chain, the next one available is where the stitch marker is. So you're going to insert your hook in here and do a single crochet. and then you're going to repeat that process. So you're going to skip 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next one you're going to insert your stitch marker. And into the next chain, you're going to skip 2 chains, and into the next one you're going to do another shell of 5 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to repeat that process until you have 6 chains left. When you've got your 6 chains left, I will show you what to do next. You're almost at the end of your foundation row. You've got 6 chains left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've finished with a shell. You're going to skip 2 chains, and into the next one you're going to do a single crochet. And lastly you're going to skip 2 chains, and into the last chain you're going to do 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. And now your foundation row is completed, and this is what it looks so far. And I forgot to mention that this is the right side of your work. So now we're going to begin on the next row, which I said we would start with a 2-row repeat. But in actual fact, I think I will call that a setup row number 2, and it'll make sense why that is as we go along. To start our setup row number 2, all we have to do now is chain 1, chain 1, and turn your work. So now here's where the fun begins. I really am looking forward to seeing the magic work with you guys. So into that first stitch we're going to put in a single crochet. In here a single crochet. Here we are. And see how these little puff shells are working out as a 3D effect? This is because the shells are worked into the back loop of a stitch, and I will show you where that is. So we're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, and in the back loop of that next single crochet that we made before, in the back loop we are going to do 5 double crochet. I will see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, do you see how the stitches work? Normally we would go through both loops, just like so, and right here you can see both loops there, but we want to not put the stitches in here but into that one here. So we're going to yarn over the hook and into that single crochet in back loop only right here. We're going to do 5 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then you're going to skip 2 double crochet and into the next one through both loops. Just as normal, you will put in a single crochet right here. single crochet. Then you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and in this single crochet you're going to do 5 double crochet, but remember, just in the back loop. Now here's the stitch you can see here with the 2 loops, and you want to go through the back loop right here. And you're going to do 5 double crochets in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to skip 2 double crochet, and in the next double crochet you're going to do a single crochet through both loops, just as normal. And you're going to skip 2 double crochet, and then in the single crochet here through the back loop only, you're going to do another shell of 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we will do this along the whole row until you get to where there's 1 half shell left, and then I will show you what to do next. You're almost at the end of your second setup row, and as you can see, you've only got half a shell left. There are 3 double crochets. So you're going to skip 2 single crochet, and in the top of that chain right here you're going to do a single crochet right in that hole there. Single crochet. The second setup row is now completed, and this is how your work looks. As you can see, there is already some 3D going on and reversibility, which is awesome! So now we are ready to start our first of 2 row repeat. So to start our first row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work just like so. Can you see the reversibility and how the shells are working to be like a 3D thing? Isn't that amazing, you guys? So right here, in this first single crochet that we did, through the back loop only, we're going to do another 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And by the way, this is considered to be the right side of the work. So now you've done half a shell. You're going to skip 2 double crochet, and then next to the next one, through both loops, you're going to do a single crochet. Skip 2 double crochet, and in this stitch here, through the back loop only, which previously was a single crochet, through the back loop you're going to do another shell of 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, and into the next one you're going to do a single crochet through both loops. When you do a single crochet, you will always go through both loops. When you do a shell, you will always work that shell into the back loop. I think this is the most important thing to remember. when you do a shell, it is always worked into the back loops of the stitch. When you do a single crochet, you will always work that single crochet through both loops of the stitch. So now we're going to skip 2 double crochet, and into that single crochet through the back loop we're going to do another shell of 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to skip 2 double crochet, and into the next one through both loops we're going to do a single crochet. And we're going to essentially do this until the end of the row. Once we get to the end of the row, there's only 1 single crochet left. I will show you what to do. So I will pause now and I will join you at the end of the row. We are now at the end of the first row, and we've got 2 double crochet and 1 single crochet left. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet and into that single crochet through the back loop only. Remember, it is right here. You're going to do 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. We are now ready to do the second row, which essentially is the second row repeat. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Look at how the shells are working. I just really love it, you guys. So in that first stitch, we are going to work a single crochet. Remember, through both loops. And now we're going to skip these 2 double crochet and into that single crochet here. Through the back loop only, we're going to do 5 double crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 double crochet, and into the next one through both loops we're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to repeat that to the end until we get to that last half shell, and I will show you what to do next. We are at the end of the row. As you can see, we have half a shell left, which has 3 double crochet, 2 double crochet here and a turning chain. So on top of the turning chain, you're going to just put your hook in there and do a single crochet, just like so. So now your second row repeat is done. All you have to do is row 1 and 2 over and over again. So what you would have to do here is chain 3, turn your work 2 double crochets in the back loop of that stitch, skip 2 double crochet, and into this one through both loops you do a single crochet, and then you skip 2 double crochet, and into the next one through the back loop only you work a shell of 5 double crochets, and so on, and you repeat these 2 rows over and over again until it is long enough. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do 2 rows more, and then I will show you how I personally change colors. I know other people use different methods, but my personal choice will be what I will show you in a moment. That's if you decide to use different colors. If it is just a one color blanket, then you don't need to worry about that part and just carry on until your blanket is long enough. I have now completed my second row repeat. I have just one half shell left. So in the turning chain, I am going to put in a single crochet, and it is right here. Single crochet into this turning chain. And now I want to change color, so I'm going to do a chain 1 and I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to leave a nice tail so I can weave it in later on. There we are. Cut. And just let it go, just like that. And this is how our work looks so far. This is the wrong side of the work. When you turn it around, just like so, this is the right side of the work. And with the right side facing you, you're going to now join in your new color. So the way I do it is I do a slip knot on with my yarn. Here we are, here's the slip knot. And now I'm going to insert the hook into that single crochet, but only through the back loop, just like so. Only through the back loop. And now I'm going to chain 3, and this counts as a double crochet. And into that same back loop I'm going to do another 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And we're going to carry on as normal. So you're going to skip 2 double crochet, and into the next double crochet through both loops you're going to do a single crochet. And then skip these 2 double crochet, and into the back loop of that single crochet here you're going to do 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to do that for the remainder of your blanket. So for this one I have done 2 setup rows and then 4 rows. 3, 4. So I'm not too sure how many rows I'm going to do in white, but then I will switch back to peach, and then I will switch back to white, and then back to peach until the remainder of the blanket. For this previous blanket here, I will tell you how many rows I did to achieve so many inches. Okay, so I have measured this blanket that I have made previously, and to achieve 27 inches I have done the 2 setup rows there. Here's the 2 setup rows, and once I've done my 2 setup rows I did an additional 60 rows, which is 30 times the 2 row repeat sections. And once I'd done that I had to start working on the border. But I will not be doing this particular border that's on here for this tutorial. When I do my second part I will try and do something new. So a nice, easy border that could be for either boys or girls. But of course it all depends what kind of border you want to use, because you could use so many different borders. Personally, I think something nice and simple will go with that one, especially with the reversibility of this blanket. What do you think? Please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so up to now I have done just over half of the blanket length that I want. I have done, this is what it looks like. There we are. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit more so you can see how 3D and reversible it is. So here we are. Look at this lovely blanket. It is so nice and completely 3D. I just really love it. It's so nice and squishy. And of course you can turn it and it is exactly the same. There we are. And so far I have done the 2 setup rows and an extra 34 rows, which means 17 2-row repeats, and it measures just about 16 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and carry on until I've done another, well, almost half as much as this. I think another 12 inches. I will do another 12 inches and then I will think about doing a border. But you know, I think it kind of looks good without a border. It is nice and straight on the edge, and the bottom is quite nice, and so is the top. So this is the tail end still, but I think both edgings look nice. So what I would do, if I was to be right at the end of this blanket, I would do one more row right here. I would just do one more row to complete this blanket. Whether you put a border or not, this was what I would do. I would do just an extra row and then cut off the yarn and sew in the tails. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and hopefully you'll be doing some blankets. And this concludes part 1 of this baby blanket, or any blanket of any kind. I will be doing part 2 in a couple of days' time. I haven't decided what kind of border I will do yet, but I am sure that we will come up with something really nice for this. Something that will work for both sides of the blanket. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed making this. I cannot emphasize enough how squishy and soft this is. This is really wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining me, and please like this video if you haven't done so already. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to make any comments whatsoever, whether you're commenting on this blanket, will you be making it yourself, or have you got any suggestions or requests or questions about this blanket. You know, you can just about comment about anything at all that you want. I will read every comment and I will reply to every comment. So thank you very much once again, and until the next time, happy knitting and crochet everybody!